Save the bees. I'm all for it. I'm fully on board. But come on, fellas, there's a huge open door there. Help yourselves, will you?
Hello everybody, hope you're well, and hello to Pauline, your feather asked me to give you a shout out, and I've just done it, so there we go. Right then, we've got a lot to be getting on with in this episode, and it's going to be a little bit bitty. We've got trades coming in, I won't be able to film it all, but when I come to compile it all, I'm just going to try my best. So apologies now, but bear with me, because the end result, I'm sure, is going to be well worth it. Right, now, if you remember, at the end of the last episode, we got the concrete in. Let's go and have a look, see how it is. Spoiler alert, I'm happy.
Right, I don't think I'll be able to film this at an angle that will ever get across just how happy I am with how that has turned out. That is as flat as a pancake, it really is. All the way through. Very, very happy. The reason why it's so important to get that as flat as you possibly can, I'll go into a little bit later in the episode and explain everything. But let's tell you what we've been up to. Got a bit of stud walls up, look. Me and Rich did this yesterday. Thought I filmed it. No, I didn't, but there we go, not to worry. It's fairly standard, really. Well, I say me and Rich did it. He was here when he, and it's his forte, so you don't put your strikers in goal, do you? So I was a bit of a bystander, really, but there we have it. But I was going to do all this once underfloor heating went in and then build off that. The issue I've found, really, is to get underfloor heating in, I need to start planning stuff, where the kitchen's going, what's going in the utility and where, for definite, because you don't underfloor under stuff, especially under kitchen cabinets, because your food will go off, obviously. So I really need to sort the rooms out, have a measure, what can go where, can the boiler go in there? I believe now it can. Loads of regs in terms of how far the flue can be and all that sort of stuff, which we'll go into in a future episode. So I really start to visualise stuff, so decided to get it built, hence the plastic that's going to be wrapped up. Screed goes against it. That's another thing. But so I'm here today on my own, so I'm going to get this bit of wall in. However, I've uncovered a bit of an issue that I'm going to go through with you now. Obviously, there's a lot of work to be done. Well, I say a lot of work. It needs some attention, doesn't it? Because new meets the old. But I've put this window in, which bridges the two, if you like. So when I first built the extension, I built this pillar in the existing kitchen that was still up and running, and it was for another 2 or 3 years afterwards. So I thought then we'll be able to come to now. I'm going to stud straight across here and happy days. But I've got the laser level out. I've come 90 degrees off here, bringing 25mm off this pillar here, so we can just dab straight across it. But it brings us, can you see that line there? To that line there. So then we lose that much of the reveal of the window. So then we just get a little crappy nib there, which, well, it's not good enough, is it? It's going to look rubbish. So how can we remedy that? Basically, what's thrown us out is that pillar is far too fat. We really need to keep this line of the new and bring it across into the old and really be governed by that, whilst also keeping it 90 degrees in both corners, so the kitchen fits as easy as can be. So what can we do with this pillar then, being that it's holding up this lintel? Well, as you can see there, we've got far too big an overhang there. We don't need that. So that can go. So I'm thinking, then we can see that line there, of cutting it back to that, which will then in turn sort of help us out. When we come down to here, well, now I've noticed, I should say, that's where it meets the old wall there. That overhang really isn't doing a lot. That's doing absolutely nothing because it's holding up literally nothing. And then that overhang there is far sufficient to hold that up. That's holding the lintel up. So I'm going to cut it all down to where it meets the old there, and then I'm going to get rid of this bit in its entirety, which in itself solves a bit of an issue in terms of what that's built off, because I built it off the original floor. And as we've established in the last episode, it's just dirt underneath it. So I was going to dig it all out and try and, well, prop it up, dig it out and get some concrete under it at this stage. But by getting rid of it, I haven't got to do that. So I think that's all right. Now, I could try and build something up against the old wall here to take that, but there's nothing that thin I can build out of bricks and mortar that's going to do anything. So I could maybe get some timber under it, maybe concrete that, wedge some timber under it, bolt some timber to the wall that'll hold it, just to be on the safe side. But saying that, again, I haven't got any issue. And then I've got to sort out this mess here, because that was an arched window there and it just fell a little bit. Not an issue. It was always intended that at this stage I get up there and brick it all in and sort it all out. But here we are. So first job of the day. I don't want to use my still saw next to the window, so I'm just going to drill that out best I can, get it back best I can, bit of hoofing out. My only issue is that brick there is just going to shatter, so I'm going to have to redo that one. But anyway, that's not a problem really. Get down there, sort it out, and then hopefully we'll be able to line this through a lot better. Anyway, enough talking, let's get something done. Right, sorry about that. We had the door open and the wind blew over my tripod. And yeah, smashed my phone. So anyway, there we go. Rich has just popped in from a job. You right there, Rich?
Not really. I'm enjoying myself too much.
Oh, there you go. He's been cutting wood, hasn't he? This guy's got a very, very strange voice. Yeah, can't quite work it out. Don't worry, we haven't framed the window in the wrong place. That is for the cookerhood that we were talking about, and it's got to be vented. So we didn't want to put an upright right in the middle where it could be. I've measured it out. Chances are it might miss, but that's just a big hole down that we can go. What I'll do, I'll pattress that so the actual cooker itself can be fixed in nice and secure, and then we'll core drill it at a later date once we've got it all sorted. Bit of the old. Where are we? Old into the new. So there's a bit of a transition area here where we've got to keep clear because we've got South Staff's water coming out this afternoon, hopefully, to assess this lead pipe and what they can do in terms of replacing it, because there's a lead replacement scheme. In case you didn't know about it, I'll learn more when he tells me, and I'll let you know, just in case you're doing some renovations, you found some lead pipes, you might be able to get it all changed for free. So this room now is all framed out. Yes, I've got a nog in it, and I'll do that on a rainy day, so to speak. Strengthen it all up, but we've got our walls in. They're as square as we can get them. That's perfectly square, as we talked about it before. That's slightly out, but we've gone through all that. But now I can measure these walls now and start getting a kitchen plan together. Got a utility all sorted. I can measure all that, sort all that out. So it's a big step forward, this is. However, that is now all the stud walls done. So what we're going to do now is a little bit of plumbing. We're basically odd jobs until the gas engineer turns up, and I can't seem to find one, but hopefully we'll be all right. As you seen in the previous episode, we've got our plumbing in for the shower from the loft that goes into there, and we've got a hell of a run to get it from here. So we're going to work from this point up there, and then we're going to come through there, across there. Where are we? Now it's got to go up there, which is up here. See that hole there? That's just a little see where we are hole. It's got to come through there. It's got to follow this the angle of the stairs, just so it's in this void here, and it's going to come straight up. Hopefully we'll be able to do something in terms of getting it around this steel into our waste, which is there. And the whole reason why we've got to do that is because basically, from a practical design point of view, this bathroom is on the wrong side of the house. Far easier if it went over there, which is obviously the gable of the house. All pipes could have gone out, not a problem. Down, traditionally, seen it all before, your house is probably the same, blah, blah, blah. But we thought, design-wise, the bathroom is better this way, and that's causing us this issue of actually how do we plumb, or how do we get the water from the shower out. Now the toilet's okay, because the toilet waste is obviously higher, which means we've got the fall to go down into the eaves. That's it's boxed in, and that's it boxed in there. And that goes out the house and away. The sink is higher than that, so that could just go. Oh look, there's Brad again. All right, Brad, in the bathroom film. Weird. Sink goes into that. Blah blah blah. So that's sorted. It's just that. So let's get started. Do you know what? Boring, isn't it? I'll spare you the footage of that. You can thank me in the comments. This is now a couple of weeks after I've pressed stop on that little bit of footage there, because it turned out that we needed to do a load of little jobs in order to free up the big stuff, and they're really boring to actually film and for you to watch. So we've raced ahead a bit. I'll turn you around now. I'll show you what we've done. Tiny little things that just little nothing ones that no one will ever see, but they're essential. But again, as we're trying to create something that is either educational or entertaining, and it's neither really. But we'll show you what we've done. I've now got a plan to actually do something that you might find interesting, which we'll go through, and then we'll actually show you us doing something, which is, you know, might be why you're here. Okay, as promised, 1.5 inch solvent well pipe from our drainage that we put in the previous episode, all the way up through the house, zigzaggy, all the way to the shower tray that's in the loft. I'll show you that route later. I'm going to show you what we've done down here first in a bit of detail, because all these little jobs that I've done down here have been emulated upstairs. There's no need to go through all of them, because it's sort of, it's exact, well, it is really a carbon copy of what we've done down here up there. So concentrate down here first, do some work down here, and then when we go upstairs to do exactly the same as what we've done down here up there, I'll show you. Cut that wall down to make this span a little bit bigger, because this is still going to be two different rooms, two separate rooms, and there's going to be bifold doors here, so I need that span to be a little bit bigger here. And then that wall from about there to there is going to be solid, and that's where the TV is going to go for this room here, the living room. Cut that back. Get that back flush to the walls either side. It makes a hell of a difference. I don't know if you can really see that, but I'll remember it from last time. But doing it like that is much better. That steel goes all the way to that line there. There's nothing wrong with that bearing, so save your thumbs. Right, moving through to here where the most difference has been. These walls are up, as you know, insulated now. First fix, as you can see. I've asked just the electrician to leave the cables like that, so if you've got any issues with that, take them up with me, not them, not an issue. So right then, soundproofing. This is a big thing for me, because I want to try and deaden the sound on this partition wall throughout the house where necessary. So as you know, we've built that wall off that wall, so there's nothing attaching that wall to the partition wall between the two houses. So there's a gap there now where the sound can't penetrate through. Insulated it with this super itchy 50mm acoustic insulation, and that runs through the entire thing. Now, what I am now going to do is insulate. Now it's all been first fixed, I can insulate now between these studs, so that obviously that's more insulation through. Then I'm going to OSB the entire wall, clad the entire thing. A couple of reasons for this. Yes, it's for sound, but also that's where the kitchen's going. Noggins are in place where the base units will go, and the noggins are in place where the tall units will go. I need to noggin 2 more little there, because these tall cupboards are now going to there. Bit of a change in plan. So so OSB, and then in the future, if we want to put shelves up or do anything, we're just going straight through. We haven't got to worry about finding studs, plasterboard fixings, what can we put on them. If we want to put a rack up and put the heavy pans on, it's not going to be an issue. That's what we're going to do. On top of that then, once the OSB's up, I have bought, and it's been delivered, quite obviously, this stuff. Now these are 5 metre by 1 metre rolls of sound deadening matting used or made apparently for cars, under bonnets, that sort of thing. So it's moisture resistant and it's flame retardant and all that sort of stuff, heat resistance, because obviously it's got to go next to engines and things. Apparently it works. We shall see. It's the cheapest stuff I could find on the market. It's incredibly light. I thought it'd be very heavy. They're not. It's just literally 3mm foam, sticky backed. So once this OSB is on, I think the easiest way to do it, because I'm going to be doing it on my own, is dropping it like wallpaper basically and sticking it on. Now once that's on, then soundboard plasterboard, which I'll show you in better here, the blue stuff, that then gets screwed on. That's our wall. That's it. That's as far as I can go in terms of budget. There's ways you can do this properly. You can get this like a recording studio if you want to spend the money. I ain't got the money to spend on it, so I'm not. This is a budget version of what I'm trying to achieve here. So, and we shall see. And then whatever I do there then is going to be emulated directly above, which is my daughter's bedroom, and the front of the house, which is our bedroom. And then we'll see if it works. It's a consideration, if nothing else. Then we're going to insulate and vapor barrier all the stud walls that we've done there. That was a complete waste of time because the cooker's now going on this wall. We'll go into that a little bit later. So that's what we're going to do, time-lapse wise now on that. That can then be insulated and plasterboarded, OSB exactly the same. And then we can go in here, and I'll show you that a little bit later on in the episode. It's a bit dark in here. I might get some lights in before I do it. So that's what we're going to do. 3 walls, exactly the same. Let's go. Oh man, battery ran out. Nearly got there. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So it's had 100mm acoustic insulation. It has had 80mm OSB. It has had a layer of this stuff here, which the jury's still out on. I don't know whether it's going to work or do anything at all. I'm not too sure. But I'm going to use it now because I've got 15 rolls of the stuff, £19 something a roll. But it's it's all right. It's sticky, as I say. Which I did put that one on first, and I took this back off and I tried to stick it on. It did not go well. So then I thought, well, there's no real need for it to come off, is there, for what I'm trying to do here? So I just stapled the rest on, which seems to go on a lot easier and a lot quicker. So yeah, and then it's soundboard on top of that. Will that do anything? I'm not too sure. For those of you who don't know, soundboard, there's no real technology within it. It's the same, that's normal plasterboard. This is so-called soundboard or sound block or whatever, denoted by its blue. Plasterboard's colour-coded, red fire retardants, or fireboard, whatever you want to call it. Green is moisture resistance, blah, 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 whatever. Just so the building inspector can look at it and go, okay, you've used the right stuff. Wherever it may be. The difference between the two is normal plasterboard is 23 mil. I beg your pardon, 23 kilograms. And this stuff is 33 kilograms. So it's a lot heavier, it's a lot denser. That's basically the difference. That's all it is. Same thickness, same dimension, same everything. So there we go. Will it work? Time will tell. Right then, moving on. We're going to insulate that. And then what am I going to do? Then I'm going to vapor barrier it because I'm going to, because that is the original wall. So 9 inches thick. So stop any moisture going through, i.e. heat. Is it worth it? Am I doing the right thing there? Who knows? But I've bought it, I've got it, same as that stuff, so I'm going to use it. Right then, I'll get that done and I'll show you after. Well, so much for plans, eh? Did this last night with the full intention of coming in this morning and doing a vapor barrier and doing all the rest of the stuff I said I was going to do. And then I sat down with the wife and we chose a shower, which needs to be on site when the plumber comes to the first fixing. So that shower then went into the basket, which then led to a towel roll going in the basket, which then led to a bath going in the basket. And then before you know it, we've pressed checkout and we've got a big delivery coming, which means in turn, we need somewhere to put that delivery. I don't want to start putting it all over the house and having to move it in order to do other jobs and whatnot. So what that means is this needs to be abandoned for the time being. I need to concentrate my efforts upstairs. So let's go up there and I'll show you what I've got to do. And here we are, set bathroom, which looks a million miles away, doesn't it? But it's not, you know, it's already electrically first fixed. So we're only a plumbing first fix and a couple of days plasterboarding away from installation, which is very exciting. So where's the best place to put the stuff then? Obviously not in there because you'll be forever moving it. So how about the room next door, my daughter's bedroom, which means we need to concentrate our efforts and completely plasterboard this room, I think, because I don't want to put all the stuff in here and then maybe there's a slight delay with that room and then this room needs plasterboarding and we have to move that stuff. So get this plasterboarded, get the stuff in here and then take it out one by one, install it in there. This room then becomes naturally clear, ready for skimming. That's the plan. So I've insulated it exactly the same as downstairs. I'm going to do exactly the same process as downstairs. This wall has been built, exactly the same process. Ever so slightly different saying that actually, excuse me, because this wall is considerably taller, as you can probably see. So it was a lot floppier, basically, a bit flappy dappy. So what we've done is installed these brackets onto the timber wall and then onto the brick wall behind it. This wall is, as I say, 50 mil. I'll show you here. And look, it's about 50 mil off that wall to stop the sound coming through, because this is one of the thinnest part of the house. You really can hear them when they're in the same part of their house next door, which obviously means they can hear us. So it's a, you know, quite literally a two-way thing. So I've stuffed as much insulation as I can down there. We've took the flappiness out of it with these brackets. There's a few of them dotted around the job, and on the back of those brackets we've put some acoustic foam, which goes onto the brick wall, so to speak, like that, which hopefully will dampen the sound down when it's if anything comes through. What can I tell you? It's just an effort, isn't it? Just an effort. A couple of the differences is we've got mattresses here for the radiators to go on. So I've measured them all up. This is where they're going. They're just going to get, that piece of OSB will get fixed to that. which will be flush with that timber there, which means then there's plenty of meat to be for those brackets for the radiator to be screwed on, because obviously with water, very, very heavy, so I don't want to rely on a plasterboard for that. Although I am going to OSB all this as well, again, if you want to attach anything to the wall, but it is only 12mm, so in terms of radiators and whatnot, I've decided to put a bit more meat in the bones, around the bones I should say. Here I need the patches for the telly. I'm undecided which one to go on to yet. Internet cables are in. Yeah, and that's basically it. Apart from, I took this out of another job a little while ago, and what I'm going to do with that is install that in the wall behind there, so it pokes up here, up there, and then there's going to be a imagine a socket here, but it's just going to be brushed like a draft excluder on a letterbox, so to speak, and then there'll be another one at the bottom of that there. So then that is a clear channel between plugs and the back of the telly. So if anything needs to be passed up in the wall, I've got a clear channel for it in the future, a bit of future proofing. Whether it's worth it or not, I don't know, but it'll be a right pain in the bum if in a couple of years' time, whatever, becomes obsolete. I need another cable to get up there, or she wants something in here that wants connecting to the telly. I don't want dangling cables, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Another bit of future proofing I've done was I left those structure there in case this room was really dark, and it gives me the opportunity to install another another roof window I should say, in the future. But that obviously is a big space. That's going to be again a flappy dappy with a plasterboard, so I might have to screw just a noggin basically in there, just set the plasterboard. That can be unscrewed should we ever come to it in the future, which I don't think we will, but there we go, it's there if we need it. Right then, apart from that, it's exactly the same as downstairs, exactly the same process. Let's crack on. Well, there we have it. Got ceiling's high on it. Crackers, really. But I suppose I have to utilise it for storage space maybe in the future. Anyway, right then, so I've boarded that and I've OSB'd that simply because I'm not too sure it's going to go there yet. The radiator is definitely going there, but there are pattresses in the wall for that, which I will show you in more detail when I do our bedroom, which is behind us. Sockets are in. I don't know what sort of curtain rail we're having, so I just thought if I do it, I can put anything on that now, anywhere I want. So we're good to go. Now then, what I'm going to put on top of that before I plasterboard it, normal plasterboard. There's no point trying to soundproof a wall with a big window in it like that. As soon as I open the window, like I have done, what's the point? So I'm going to now vapor barrier it. Now, here's a question for you: is it worth it? This is what I'm going to do. This shiny stuff that Mick, well, I think Mick has donated it. I think that Mick might think he sold it me. Now, because asking him to clarify might cost me money, I'm not going to. So there we have it. So I'm going to wrap this OSB in that vapor barrier. The reason for that is, well, the radiator's going there, so I always wanted something reflective behind it so that heat comes back into the room and not just goes that way out the house. Also, I'm going to be barriering every stud wall of the house, which is only really up here. There's a couple downstairs, but you know what I mean. So all these are going to have a vapor barrier, both inside and out. Because of what's going on with the energy and all that sort of stuff. I want that heat to stay within the rooms that it's in. I don't want it leaking out or whatnot. I'm not going to do the ceilings. Oh, that's the floor. I'm going to do the ceilings. Any heat that does pass up, they're all going to be insulated, obviously. But any heat that does pass up and then heat the bedrooms, whatnot, above it, I'm not too fussed about. I just don't want it completely leaking out of the house because I've already got this big leaky wall here, which is the neighbour's wall, which I can't do anything with because I can't stud it off because I'll lose too much space of the hallway, the landing area, the stairs, all that sort of stuff. So that's just going to be soundboarded. So I've got that to contend with. That's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm going to do the entire wall. Is it worth it? Especially where it joins onto a block wall like that, which is insulated, 100mm cavity, fully insulated. Am I wasting my time? I don't know, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's not going to be detrimental in any way. But that's what I'm going to do. That's a warm roof, so don't worry about that. You won't see any insulation going in there because it's already got 120mm above it, above that OSB there. So don't you worry about that. So then I'll clad that with that stuff and then we'll get some plasterboarding done. Well, what do you think to that then? Big plate of rubbish with a side portion of nonsense or what? Don't know. Well, for the time it took and for the money that it cost, why not? It's got to do something. For the radiator alone, bringing that heat back in rather than have it leaking out. But there we go. It just looks ridiculous, doesn't it? And I've got this to emulate as well downstairs in the kitchen because it's exactly the same where the new, basically, the old, beg your pardon, meets the new. So yeah, well, that's where we're at with that. Right then, plasterboarding. I'm going to dab a board onto the blockwork, but I'm going to come this way with it because if I come from this way, that is a full board to there, and then I've got basically, and then I'm sort of, it's a hybrid in the wall then of fixing it with screws to there and I'm dabbing to there, and I'm worried about that being a bit of a weak point. So if I come from there, this board then comes all the way to about there. So I've got plenty of mechanical fixings in it and it's dabbed on that side, so it transitions this little dodgy bit here. That's my plan, and I'll get some insulation in there where I can, or down it or whatnot. So it's getting a bit dark. It's just starts to rain, so sorry about that. So yeah, there we have it. I'll get that on, then I'll come along here with my dab around here and we'll go from there. Forget all that. The plans changed again. I knew this episode and this stage of the job was going to be bitty, having to work around other trades and whatnot. It always happens, but it's good. It means it's all coming together. It's Friday afternoon now, and I've just had a very interesting phone call off my mate Martin, who supplies and fits everything to do with underfloor heating and Screed for all my jobs. He has said, can he come either the back end of next week, possibly to the midweek, the following week after that, at a bit of a drop of a hat kind of thing, because of all the work that we've given him over the years. If I pay for the materials, he'll supply all labour for free for my house. Now, when someone does something that nice for you, you say absolutely yes. So we're going to leave that plan, what I've just said. I'm going to pull the lads off another job. I'm going to get them all there Monday morning. I'm going to insulate it downstairs, the ground floor, that is, ready for the underfloor heating. Got to move all the stuff first. That means that I've got to go in over the weekend to get all that stuff that's all in the way upstairs, because obviously there can't be anything on the floor. So I'm going to do that over the weekend. Lads coming on Monday. They're going to be finished. A couple of them are going to be upstairs doing the plastering, while a couple of us downstairs doing the insulating, just so I can still have my room ready for the bathroom to be delivered. And I'm then 100% ready for Martin should he say, right, I'm free, can I come tomorrow? Right, okay. It'll work, this will. I'm sure it'll work. So that's the plan now. Let's go for it. Ooh, insulation and multi-finish is all very exciting. Right, over the course of the weekend, I've cleared out as much as I can from here by myself. I need a hand to get that upstairs.
This is being left as a bit of a cutting station for our insulation, but the rest of the floor, sort of, ta-da, is fairly clear. Blue boards are to go upstairs. The grey board I'm going to keep down here along with the OSB, because as soon as it's insulated, I can OSB that wall there with those boards, so I haven't got to move them around anymore. Put the grey plasterboard on it, done, out the way. But if you move through, hello Richard. Oh, come on, say something. Okay, there you go. Sports. I'll get him later. 75mm insulation on top of this. Again, this is the old regs because this was signed off, so to speak, years ago. We won't go into that. I can get reminded at home. So we're going to insulate this floor now. We've put this water pipe in, which I haven't explained yet, from the mains outside. You can't see the connection. Well, there's a big hole they've got dug there. Found that it was plastic. All that lead that was here, the plastic, it went into plastic outside. So it connected outside and it runs all the way through into the utility. So there's no joint under here at all. And that's our electric cable for our island that's going there. The reason why we put it there is because that is exactly, maybe a couple mil under, 2.4, which is the width of the board, length of the board. So we've got minimal cuts there. So we're going to put them all to the pipe this way, and then cuts that way, and then continue all the way through there. Banging upstairs because there's plastering going on. We shall show you that in a bit. Right then, let's get started. Well, best laid plans, eh? We tried to think ahead and put that in 2.4 from the wall, just so it was just going to chamfer the edge off, just so it'll slot over. And then I went ahead and OSB'd, soundboarded and blah 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 that wall, as you've seen earlier. So which just threw us out a bit. So we took a bit of fettling just to get it over the pipes and over the electrics, and just packed that up with out with sand just to give it a bit of structure underneath it. But that'll be fine now. Slowed us down a bit. And also we decided to get the awkward bit out the way, which was this big flappy dappy curved pipe that goes into our new stopcock there. And how do we cut round that, and how do we make sure that it's all nice and as good as we can get it? Well, we found a way, and we're going to show you now. It's all extremely technical, so we're trying to blind you with science, and hopefully you'll be able to keep up. But yeah, we'll show you. We've got the awkward measurements, because it's got to go around these soil pipes, and then we'll walk you through it. It might take a while. What we have learned is that if we mark out where the pipes have got to go, and you put the pipe round it like so, and use it as a bit of a stencil. There is one-handed. Oh yeah, magic hand. And then you draw round it like so, and then you remove that, and then you draw down where you want to square it down like so. You end up drawing something that resembles something quite rude. So there we go. Will you fit first time? Take 4.
It must feel noisy.
He is, isn't he? He is. For a plasterer. Oh, it only does, you know.
Needs to come from here.
Ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, beautiful. Right then. So the mega complicated way, I mean, we may have overthought it really, we're not too sure, of how we're going to mark this this pipe out now in order to cut the channel out is, well, Rich would like to demonstrate?
Oh, well, I can do.
Go for it. Okay. And then hopefully, if it worked the same way as it worked before, ta-da! Look at that, perfect, excellent. What we've got to do now, just cut that channel out, it'll slip over, and that's the best that we can do that, and that's all the awkward ones, awkward bits done really. Then it's just plain sailing with a couple of crappy corners to go around. Excellent.
Lovely.
Oh, where is he? Other side. There we go. Just with the multi-tool and the circular saw, just cut that out.
Very crudely.
Very crudely, but I think it's going to be worth it. Right then, insert the, well,
Oh man, it's not up there, so. Right, start again.
I would try and help, but it's I'm filming. What can I tell you?
Make it to me, right, please.
Ready?
Yeah. Okay. Hey! Ho!
We're over it, mate. That's it. Beautiful. Excellent. So that's nice. Now it's not rocking anything.
Perfect, look.
Perfect. It's brilliant. And that is why we tried so hard to get this concrete as flat as possible as well, to make this process as easy as possible. Now obviously we've thrown in a few of our own curveballs, well, or curved pipe if you like, but now, as I've said, plain sailing now, just that one to get over and then push forward and away we go. Right, we're going to get flying now. I might even put some music on for you, but there's two things I want to show you. First one, watch this, uncut board. Oh, I mean, come on. I mean, there are certain YouTubers out there that will say, oh yes, that's the way I designed it to be more efficient. Well, whatever, pure luck. And the second thing to show you, look at the new lad, Elliot. Look how comfy he looks, look at him, sat there in the sunshine, in the only chair that we've got.
He's got his feet under the table already, hasn't
He has, hasn't he? Beautiful.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, don't get up, mate, we'll sort it. But don't you love it when a plan comes together? Matt has just finished working his wonders in here and giving me my first fully plastered room of this project. Beautiful. My daughter will be happy. This is her room. This is how he's left it. Not many plasterers leave rooms like that. Excellent. So ready now. The stuff, 10 minutes before he left, the bathroom stuff got delivered. So that plan has just worked beautifully. So get that bathroom stuff up here now, into here, where it can be decanted one by one, but it's needed in the bathroom, which is behind that wall. But just to give some kind of perspective on the job, this all looks fantastic. You think, oh yeah, brilliant. Then you walk out and you think, oh no, just the rest of the house to do. But we're getting there, Right, let's get this bathroom stuff up and I'll show you how we got our downstairs.
Ooh, exciting stuff. It's all very nice. You'll see it when it gets installed. It's not everything. The shower screen's not here, a couple of other bits. We haven't bought that yet. But in terms of installation, if ever you're having a bathroom done, when you get to this stage or the walls are all off or however it is you're doing it, you really do need on site the stuff that you want fitting, so your plumber can come and fit it all accordingly, look at it, measure it, get everything right first time. So that's why that's here. So anyway, moving on, I'll show you what we've done downstairs. We are fully insulated. Look at that, beautiful. All joints are taped. This stuff is solid as a rock. I am very, very happy with it. Testament to getting the concrete right. It's as simple as that. There's a bit of a discrepancy in height between the concrete floor which I put in when I first did the footings about 7 years ago and our floor now. The reason for that is when I did that, I didn't think we were going to have underfloor heating. So I put the insulation in, concreted on top, ready for just a screed to be put on top as and when the time comes. Since then, times have changed, we've gone from the floor heating and the two haven't quite married up, which isn't a problem. I've put another 25mm above it, even though it's already got 100 million, as I say. It's already membraned, all that. Yeah, and that's just the way it's worked, but it's not an issue. The fella's been out, Martin's been out today to have a look at it and whatnot, and he's happy, so we're okay. We're all right, and it looks rather beautiful. We're happy. Well, I was happy until I realised I've made a bit of a boo-boo. I've been searching the internet for appropriate ducting for the cooker hood. The cooker hood was originally going to go on that wall there. I did this last night, by the way. As you saw in the time lapse, just boarded it whilst the boards were here, OSB'd it and vapor barreled it, and then shoved everything else upstairs. Cookhood was going to go there, wasn't it? Cookhood straight through, not a problem. All long ball, Route 1, Sam Allardyce stuff. However, it soon came apparent, because I've put this window in so big, and because I've got such a big cooker, which I took out a job a few years ago, it doesn't actually fit. The cooker will be under the window, which we don't want. Cookhood won't be able to go over it. One big pile of no. So, plan B, not ideal. Put it on this wall. Can't go in this wall for the same reasons. Window's too big and it just won't fit. So, plan B, put it on this wall. How do we vent it and not have any boxing in? Well, simple, isn't it? You go through your joists and out the wall there. Again, that, not so much of an issue. However, I put that plug in, which was dead centre of where the cooker hood was going to be, and then boom, look, you go straight up and hit that massive thick joist there. Go around it, you've got to build something. I could go across the wall, then I've got to build something out, I've got to marry it up this way. Not really what I wanted to do. So I just thought I'll double check my measurements, and I'm only out by about 400mm. We're a plonker. Basically, I don't know if you can see that, I've got 600, 600, 600, then I've got a 350 set of drawers, then the cooker. When I gave the measurements to the electrician, I forgot about the 350mm drawers. So everything is at least 350mm out, plus the side panel and all that sort of thing, the 18mm, and then there's a 35mm because it's trendless. We'll get into all that when the kitchen's here. So I'm out quite massively. That's where it is, and that's where it is, and that line is where it needs to be. But, so, which means that's where the cooker's going to be, come to now. That plug socket needs to be moved. It means that the cable for the cooker is now behind the cooker, which is not what we want. We want to be able to turn it off from inside the cupboard next to it. It can go above the worktop, but they're ugly, so put it in the cupboard next to it. That's in the wrong place, which means that the plugs for the fridge and the freezer, whichever way it goes round, they're in the wrong place because we don't want that. They're now behind the fridge. We don't want that. We want it again to the side of it, in the cupboard next to it or above it. So it's one big pile of, oh dear, let's try and work this out. Now, why all this, I've still got a smile on my face and I'm not swearing at myself too much, is because if you follow that line now, that is centre of the cooker, which means it's the centre of the cooker hood. And look where it now falls. Oh yeah, only in the middle of the joist by pure chance, which means now it makes that ducting out far, far easier. I just need a bit of advice on what size of ducting I need and whether or not it's any good over a 4 metre stretch. So bear that, I'll bear that in mind and I'll let you know when I know. So there we go, right in. So I'm going to mess around with these. I'm going to move them to where they should have been in the first place. And then we'll have a look at that wall over there. Right, bear with me. Okay, all that's done. I had some filler, some old filler that was going off, some ready mixed fairly rubbish stuff in the van, so I just thought I'll just patch it round just to get rid of it, save throwing it away really, and just, I don't know, help the plasterer maybe. I don't know, not really worth it, because really only that one there is going to be visible, so to speak, because that's behind the fan, those are behind the splashback, and all these are behind cupboards or fridges, blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's it. Now if you don't mind, I'd quite like to forget all about that, and we're going to move on, because before the underfloor heating comes, this is Charlie, the new beefcake of the channel. It's nice to meet a beefcake that's you know, sharing the burden, to be honest with you. It's all been on me for a while now. It's getting a bit much. We're going to get a bit of a stud wall up here, or at least come out the ground, because we're going to have maybe potentially bifold doors here, which I think I've mentioned, but they might be normal internal ones that don't have a threshold at the bottom, or I might go for proper ones that do. So to future-proof ourselves before we make the commitment, we can't have any pipes running through where the doors are going to be, because we need to drill down and fix them into the floor, so we can't do it. So we're going to put a bit of a channel down here that can be removed at a later date in order for the underfloor heating people to go around it, so we're safe. So we're going to get a bit of a wall up here, and I'll show you how I'm going to just barrier this off. Yeah, and then we'll crack on. Right, it was the following day. Charlie's in there doing his thing, so I've just come out his way. I thought I'll just come outside and over-engineer something. I'm building the bearing for the lintel, which will be above our doors. You can't see there, I don't know what I'm showing you. So how I'm going to do it is basically 3 lengths of timber, cuts the length that I want. All this will become apparent when I take it inside. It'll be a lot more sense. Where these squiggles are is where the timbers are going to be, and then I'm going to join them up like so. Same at the end, so to create one solid column, and then tack that onto the end of the wall that you saw me build yesterday, and then that, essentially, that's the top, that'll be the bearing for our lintel, and then we'll take a laser measurement off the top of that, straight across to where the upright is on this side of the house, again, which I'll show you in a sec, and then we'll cut that one off, and that will be our bearing for that side. So I'll put that together, take you inside, and it'll make a lot more sense. Right, well there we go. Hopefully now that makes a bit more sense. You can see it now, can't you? It's just a bearing for the lintel, which is going to go across there. And that is basically it, really. All fairly simple, over-engineered stuff. This is C24 tannalised timber. I don't need this. As I said, C16 untannalised would do, but it's just what the local shop, literally down the bottom of the road, and that's the correct use of the word literally as well. So it's just, I'm back, and I'm back in the house 10 minutes after leaving, all stocked up. So it's the only real reason why I've done that. Out of these, But there we go. I've set the layers level up on the old plasterboard prop. As you can see, it's just kissing the top of that now, and that is showing there. Can you see that line there? What I'll do, I'll mark that now, and that way, obviously, when I cut that, that is the same height as that, and then that lintel then will be level. And then what I'll do, I'll get some shorter blocks, or whatever height it is, let's say it's there, cut those blocks down to the bricks and then build it up there to fill that void up with timber, and it's just, it will sit on there. I'm not going to cut it yet though, just in case we've got the heights wrong, or we want to go a little bit higher if we can, because we want these doors as big as possible, in which case I can add to it. But if I mark it and then realise that we're right, I ain't got to get the level back out. So that's the reason why that is. Now then, so why have I sectioned off these two rooms like they were? Well, we want a living room and we want a separate dining room, and we want to be able to shut the doors, have noisy kids one side when they're teenage, have the mates round, do whatever, and then we can be in here, you know, just chilling, whatever. Now, also in the winter, maybe when the kids grow up or something, or we're all in here or whatever, we don't want to have to heat all this floor in order to stay warm. So we can just shut that door and have either this zone on, the underfloor heating, or get that fire on and just warm this room here and leave all that off. So that's why we've done it, and that's why I'm keen to press the point of having like proper aluminium double glazed bifolds here, just for that thermal value there as well, just so I don't lose all that heat round, because all that's staying open from that point that way is exactly how you see it. So I don't want to be, you know, try and get these bills down, because they're getting stupid, aren't they? They're getting stupid. Another reason why I want to get this built is because now I can see quite excitedly how big I can have my telly. Now I reckon, measuring that, I can have a 70-inch there, 65, or pushing it to a 70-inch. Now if you don't think that I need a 65 or 70-inch, or you don't think I should have one, or it's unnecessary, then you can join the back of a very long queue, but just note that at the front of that queue is a brick wall, and it ain't going to listen to you. Right, so I'll get that marked, and then we'll get into something else. Okay, I've just got back from running around doing a load of stuff of a job, which you'll see in upcoming videos. I've come back, electrician's gone, he's done a great job. Thank you very much, Charlie. Sod it, I'm going to build this. I can't help myself. Let's get it done. There you have it. Possibly over-engineered. Definitely over-budgeted. But there we go. It's all up, sort of. There's only a couple of screws holding it all together. As soon as we're definitely okay with the size of it and all that, and the height of it, and I'll go to town with a nail gun. But up to now, it's just tacked together, really. And then once it's all complete, I'll obviously noggin up off the top lintel to that top plate there. Now it is, as you can see, hollow in the middle, so I'm going to get a box. I've got to price it up, either a box lintel, a 3-metre box lintel to go in the middle, or some like a steel box tube thing. Oh, what's it called? It escapes me. Anyway, so I've got to weigh it up to see what's the cheapest option. Both will suffice. The only issue I've had in the past of the like the box section from the steel place is that I've got to buy 6 metres of it. Now they'll happily cut and sell me the 3 metres that I need, but they'll charge me for the 6 metres. I believe that's what happened last time anyway when we did the garden room. So I've got to weigh that up. Right then, so I've just had a phone call off the gas engineer, and he's saying, can I come on Saturday and install your boiler? Well, yes you can, Mitchell. Yes you can. Which means that the utility, which I'm not sure if I've showed you yet or not, which has all been boarded out in soundboard, because washer dryer is going to be there, it's going to be loud, and this is my neighbour's wall. So, you know, there's a bit of consideration to them. I've had that plastered a couple of weeks ago by Elle, doing a lovely job, and I am going to get some paint on it now, so the plumber can just, gas engineer, sorry, can go for gold and just screw his stuff on. No raw plugs, no nothing, no drilling needed, because as you can see here, 18mm OSB. I mean, if he wants to find the studs as well, he can, just measure off that. But he's got 18mm OSB there throughout, so he can go for gold. Wherever he wants to put his stuff, he can do it. But as you can imagine, there's going to be loads of pipes and wires and all that sort of malarkey, so I may as well get a coat of paint on it. And to do that, I'm going to use a relatively new tool to me. I've had it a while, but I've only used it once or twice. This Wagner, whatever, spray machine thing. If you follow us before on this channel, you know that I like my spray painting, and I've got the proper big machine upstairs, which if you're that interested in it, you can watch this video, which I go into a lot of detail in it. It can either really interest you or bore the memories off you. That's depending which way you want to look at it. But this thing I bought really for skirtings and small walls and little bathrooms and things like that. So it's ideal really just to get a couple of coats on there. Well, one coat now, and then I'll do another one tomorrow. And then that'll be that room done, ready for the plumber. And then really I get to just go away for a couple of days and let everybody else do their thing. Right, let's get some paint on there. Stop the press, get the calendars out, note the date. My house has got paint on the walls. Oh yeah, look at that, beautiful. I'll do a proper video if you want one on that thing. I'm still getting used to it myself. It's a bit route one. As with all paint sprays, there's some troubleshooting if it doesn't work, and refer back to the instructions and that sort of thing. So I can't really go into too much detail at the minute, so I'm not too sure of myself. So it was good to have a practice wall though. One thing I did note, that this is the first time I've used emulsion through it, and it does have to be watered down a lot through that, more than the other sprayer, as it just clogs up. But there we go. I'll show you some more detail if you want it at a later date. But there we have it. How's that for a literal blank canvas? Oh, not literally. Poor use of the word literally, because that ain't canvas. But it's blank and it's white. And I feel like we're getting somewhere. Well, that was a couple of days ago. And something's happened in that couple of days. Let me show you. Come in, mate. You ready? Here we go. Oh yes. He's only gone and got a boiler. I've got a boiler. Have you got a boiler? Because so have I now. Well, there we go. I'll turn you around and I'll show you more detail. It's all very, very exciting. Now have a look at that. Ain't that something? I reckon if you looked up the word neat in a dictionary, there should be a picture of this. Because that is beautiful. Installed by a fella called Mitchell Brinton from Brintons Gas. I will leave his name, number, details, wherever I can find, in the description. So if you're in this neck of the woods and you need a gas engineer, here's your man. Lovely lad. And takes a bit of pride in his work, as you can see. Absolutely gorgeous. And on top of all that, it works. Well, it will do when it's all fired up. It's all tested and whatnot, and the water works. And yeah, so there we go. That's all ready now for our sink to go into. Sink's just going across here, straight into our waste there. Beautiful. Very, very happy. Which leaves one more thing to show you. But for that, we've got to go upstairs. Now there's a certain sound that hasn't happened within this house for quite a while. Not that, you filthy animals. It's not the kids running around either, laughing and joking, although that is a beautiful sound and it has been sorely missed. Nah, it's this one. Oh yeah. Oh! He's only gone and got a working toilet and a working sink. Check that out. Although the pressure now is so good. It's a bit much for this sink, but when that on, look at that. That's unbelievable for the state of it. Needs a big clean, doesn't it? Electrician's just got to come back and plug that in, so to speak, wire it all up. Hello, Brad. What are you doing in here again? Yeah, it's getting a bit weird, mate. You've been in there. So it needs a good clean. Shower needs to be on, but we are that close for a fully working bathroom within the house, which is very, very exciting. But still no excuse to leave the seat up. Eh? Let's have our standards. And as you can see down there, back in the kitchen, we are first fixed. All that's in the back of the wall there. Straight our condenser straight into our waste that comes back through and into the other room. It's excellent. Just got to be careful. That's a bit close there. I mean, you think, oh, we done that for, but what else are you supposed to do there with the configuration that you've got to work with? I don't know. So as long as you know, don't you? And when there's a cabinet here, then that'll just be behind that and never be touched, never be drilled, never be anything. So we're good. We're very, very happy. What this has also led us to be able to do now, or led me to be able to do, I should say, where the flue is across here, which obviously goes straight outside, I've been able now to get the soil pipe in from where our toilet's going to be. Obviously, that's a bit stupid if you don't. Down there and into our soil pipe around here. Now, I can only assure you that that is all downhill. It doesn't look it, and believe me, I've checked and double checked. But that is all downhill. Now, it's not ideal in terms of fall. I get that. And if this was a customer's house, I'd either not do it and go straight out the house that way, or say, listen, we'll give it a go, but there's a caveat. Don't have a go at us if it doesn't work. But I am willing to try that 'cause it's my house, because it's far nicer than having big ugly pipe through and down the side of the house, especially being that we're so exposed and it's all seen on the side. So I've tried to keep everything internal, which means I'll be doing the bathroom first in its entirety, leaving this ceiling down for a bit, and so everything can be used and tested. And when I'm fully confident that everything's all right, we can go for it. So that's the bit of a risk I'm willing to take just for myself there. And if it does work and everything just flows away nicely, then I think it's well worth it. So just to show you, that's been there now, and then that will be our bath, which is the bath waste will be just towards the wall over there. I've left it unconnected now, obviously, because the bath isn't in, so I don't know where it's going to go exactly. But also, I've left that disconnected, which is the basin in the bathroom, just simply because if the plasterer wants to get a nice finish, not that I'm not fussed around there, to be honest with you, being it's in the utility, I've got to undo that coupling, and all that then can just come straight out in a wanna, and he can plaster to his heart's content. Now that will be over the wall, because the door frame will be about here once it's all done. So I know that looks a bit weird now, but trust me, that'll all fall into place. So what's left to do now then is get a soil pipe up here, which will eventually pick up the shower waste, which will be about there. It's all a bit busy, but it'll be fine. And that's getting vented straight through the wall into the soil pipe outside. So that is that. So there's a bit of progress to be made, and I'm very sorry that we haven't been able to film it. But what we're going to film, you know what I mean? It's just one of them. It's just not good to watch. So just do it and explain and go from there. So what we're going to do now then is have a big clean up, because the underfloor heating is going in tomorrow. So nothing can be on this floor whatsoever. Is get these cables up and might tie them to the ceiling so they're up out the way. Get everything in the skip that needs to be, everything tied the way that needs to be. Got a barrier off this. I'll show you why in a second. And a barrier off just out there by the front door, and I'll explain that. And then we'll wait for them to come tomorrow. All very, very exciting. Another milestone reached. Well, the big day is here. This is it. These are the fellas that we use. West Midlands Underfloor Heating and Flow in Screed. There's the website and the phone number. Ask for Martin if you're going to give him a call.
I'll put all this in the description anyway. So you get just links to the website. They do everything. If you just get your floor ready, get it concreted, and they can come and insulate it, and they membrane it, and they do the heating, supply the manifold, fit all that, pressure test it, do the lot. Or you can do a little bit yourself. You can insulate it yourself, and they'll come and do the rest. Or they just do the screed, whatever. It's completely up to you. Really versatile. So that's the number that you want to call. They bring the pump with them and just get the screed delivered, and they arrange all that. So it's all ready for you. So they've started, obviously, with the membrane inside, an expansion joint all the way around. As you can see, that's quite dark in there. But best stay out because the radio's on. I'll go in a bit, and I'll show you properly. Oh yes, beautiful. They've messed around. So they've got the expansion joint all the way around the entire perimeter. Membraned everything, taped every joint, and now Callum is just through there, just laying the pipes, and Dan's through there, starting in the kitchen. We're having 2 zones, so that's going to be one zone, that's the living room, and the hallway there, that's going to be on one, so we can run that independently to the second zone, which is everything from the ground floor from that point that way. We didn't really see a necessity is the word I'm after, to have this on a third zone, because I don't know when I'd have the utility on and the rest of the house off, or really want this off if really that's on. So keep it simple, just run straight into the manifold. There we go, and there we have it. That's basically it. I'm going to leave them to it now and do some work upstairs, get out their way, and then wait for the Screed, which apparently has had a phone call and it's on its way. So beautiful. Oh, we're nearly there, you know. Well, this is it. The moment I've been working up to for all these months is getting this flooring, because after this it's just full steam ahead. This is a big green light going in. The mixer is spinning, the pump is on, and it is flowing. Look at that. Filling up already. That's been on maybe 90 seconds. And here it comes. I'm going to keep out their way. I don't need me out here and knocking their levels over. All these things, I'll just show you these. That just turns down to the desired height that they've lasered in, and then they just fill it up till it touches the bottom, and that's it. And as you can see, they are scattered all over the place. But what they don't need is me getting in the way, knocking a couple over and messing it up. So I'll stay over here, and we'll watch it flow to us, shall we? Beautiful. And just like that, as Carrie Bradshaw once said, we have a floor all installed by 21 minutes past. Oh. Poor bloke. Wonder what it's like having a small penis. What a shame. Yeah, as I say, 20 past 1 and it's completely installed. So lads have gone, as you can see. They've cleaned up as if they weren't even here. It's got to wait 48 hours now before I can go back in. So we're all locked up. A top tip for you is to, if you can see it, if I get my angles right, we're having this done. Where are we? There we go, look. Gaffer tape up your letterbox because you don't want people putting letters in or post or your Amazon delivery driver putting stuff through and straight into your wet, lovely, flat, level you paid a lot of money for Screed. So there you go. Right then, so let's fast forward now. 48 hours. Okay, this is it. That's exactly 48 hours later. It's about 10 past 9, 2 days after the main event. Let's have a look. Right then. Oh, looks good. Oh, it's warm in here, as it would be. Oh, yeah. Unbelievable. How did that... I mean, nothing says leave me alone more than a taped up letterbox, does it? I must have slid it under or something. Anyway, what are we saying? Oh, hello. That sounds promising, doesn't it? Got myself a knocking stick. Let's go for it. Oh, yes. Well, would you look at that? Oh, beautiful. Ain't that something? Nope, get it dirty already, look. Oh, yes. I keep feeling I'm going to fall into a puddle or something. Oh, that looks ice. Oh, man. Ha come on. We're happy at that, aren't we? Eh? Oh, beautiful. How flat is this? It's got to be flat, isn't it? Of course it is. How wet it was. And when it was installed, of course it is. Oh, man. Happy, happy boy. Beautiful. I've got an itch and I'm going to scratch it. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. Come on. We're happy. Right, let's end that one there, shall we? On that great milestone and achievement reached. I'm very, very happy. I had a bit of a humbling experience yesterday though. I said to my son, I said, hey mate, I said, we've got all the floors are in now and we've got water pipes for the house and we've got electrical cables everywhere and there's running water and there's a flushing toilet. And he said, oh, so you're back to where we started then? Well, yeah, I suppose. That's one way of looking at it, isn't it? With all this work just to get back to where we started. So from this point on, it is onwards and upwards and trying to achieve something better than what we had before. But we are getting there, and thank you for staying with us for as long as you have, especially if you're listening to this at the end of this monster episode. I couldn't split it into two. I just thought, let's just put it all together and get it out there. Of course, after this video goes live for a week, I might look back at the statistics and we might think to ourselves, we are never doing that again. What a disaster. But until we try, who knows, eh? Who knows? Right, the next episode is going to feature heavily, if not all, on the main bathroom upstairs because we have got the soil pipe, all the waste pipes, all the water pipes, all internal. And we want to test them. We don't want to start overboarding this ceiling now, only then to discover we've got a silly little leak that we could have sorted if we just took our time and got that bathroom sorted. So we're going to do that first. Full installation video will be the next episode in this series. Thanks again if you've made it this far. Sorry it was a bit bitty, but when you've got trades coming in and out, you really have to make space for them and change things to suit their schedule, especially if you've got one like Martin coming to you, who's done me a massive favour with doing the floor heating and Screed. So thank you to him. Everyone's details is in the description. Thanks again. Take care till next time, and hopefully you'll see us soon.